Follow-up now. Grassroots America, We the People says the former Tyler librarian's lawsuit against them has zero value to it. Last week, former librarian Ashley Taylor filed a lawsuit in federal court alleging the organization played a part in her firing over this sign that was placed outside the Tyler Public Library. She's suing the organization, the city, and several city officials on claims that her firing was a violation of her First Amendment rights and a result of political pressure put on by the conservative organization. Let me read you what they had to say. The organization said in part, "These claims are completely frivolous. The whole debacle is a function of the mayor and city council's refusal to place the requested policy change on their agenda for public discussion and a vote. Their failure to act has instigated this problem. We are confident that this baseless lawsuit will be dismissed early."